When I started going to uni, I would start taking the train to get there every day. And unlike everyone else on the train, I never felt like I wanted to spend that time just looking at my phone, just scrolling, and just looking at social media during that time I was on the train. I wanted to do something better during that time other than just sit there, do nothing, or just look at my phone. So I decided the thing I should do during that time would be to start reading. So I started reading this book, Man's Search for Meaning. It is a fantastic book, literally one of the best books I've ever read. So I'm so glad I made that decision to start reading on the train. Not only because I got to read this book, but also because I realized the benefits of reading. I realized that there are seriously two major benefits of getting into the habit of reading. Now, I never really thought of myself as a reader. I didn't really like doing it as a kid. I was never much of a reader, but because I was taking the train to and from uni basically 3 days a week, I was reading consistently, 30 minutes each time, 3 days a week. And that really made me realize the real benefits of reading. The first thing I realized, and that may come as a surprise, is that just reading makes you seem like such a more attractive and unique person. Since I was reading on public transport all the time, everyone else around me would always just either be on their phones or just looking out the window doing nothing, right? And then there was me sitting there just reading my book. When people saw me just doing that, and when you see someone else doing that, you think there's just such a unique aura to that person. People really realized that. I remember there was this one time I was walking out of the station, literally book in my hand, I was still reading it even as I got off the train. I was just that engaged in it. And then this woman comes up to me and she's like, it's so good to see someone reading these days. And I was like, yeah, I guess it is. Thank you. But then I just felt really good about myself. And then there was another time where this old guy came on the train. He saw me reading, looked at the book I read, which was Man's Search for Meaning. And then he just looks at me and he just is like, good job, mate. Good job. I just realized not only does reading make you just seem so much more attractive to other people, but even to yourself, on the inside. Since I started reading so much, I was feeling more unique, such a smarter person. I feel like I had so much more self-respect for myself as I took on the habit of reading. So much more self-respect than I would have if I just spent that time on the train or the bus to just look at my phone the whole time. I never felt good about myself when I was doing that. I wanted something else to do, something more unique and something that can be valuable to me, because reading is ultimately very valuable. You obtain knowledge, you learn stuff that you might not learn conventionally, and as you do it, you're also improving yourself. You're also raising your own self-esteem because you're seeing yourself as different from the crowd. It is basically just an identifier that you are different, that you are someone unique, you are someone that isn't giving in to the social norms of just scrolling and social media and just technology. You're someone who can just sit down and just engage in a book. And that brings me to my next point. Basically, that reading it gives you such a break from just the fast-paced dopamine of social media. Whenever I use social media for so long, I never can feel relaxed. I always feel like I'm being forced to my mind is just being forced to engage in all this stimulating stuff. It is ultimately not good. Whenever I opened up the book on the train and I'd start reading it, I would get so engaged in this book. I would wish my commute was literally longer so I could just read the book for longer. I wasn't feeling the same way that you feel when you're scrolling on social media. There wasn't any quick dopamine released and there wasn't any quick crashes after that. It was just my mind could be relaxed, engaged in the book, and just doing that, I just felt so much more at peace. There's a certain peace that I just felt in reading that was just so beneficial, so meditative, for lack of a better word. It was so great that I literally felt excited to go on the train. Each morning I was going to uni, I would feel excited as I got to the train station because I'd be so excited to read and get engaged in this book. In this world where everything is so fast-paced and stimulating and there's so much instant gratification with social media and everything, it's so good to do something that just completely is away from all of that. And reading is something that for me was perfect for that. When you're on social media, you're not really using your mind. But when you're reading, when you're reading something that hopefully you are super engaged, your mind is being used in such a great way to just truly think and take in what you're consuming. With reading, it seriously brings you back to the natural way to consume and to like be engaged and learn about stuff. You should just try. Like, I know people who say like they can't read, but honestly, if you have the right book, if you have something you're reading that you know you'd seriously be engaged in, like it will hook you like crazy. But maybe try for like a week, and if you don't feel any of the stuff that I was talking about, then you don't have to. Maybe it's not for you. But seriously, reading benefits everyone.